I used my cash shield to make rent this month, and I still bought 1,000,000 sats. That's not me flexing, that's just the system doing exactly what the system is supposed to do. Here's what happened. Cash was tight between paychecks. It happens sometimes. Instead of me selling Bitcoin and freaking out about it, I pulled from the cash shield, covered the rent, and when the paycheck came in, I topped it back up. My stack never gets touched. Most people feel like they failed the second they dip into that emergency fund, like there's something broke. But that's exactly the whole point of having the emergency fund. Short-term pressure comes in and the cash shield absorbs it. So Bitcoin never has to be touched. If Bitcoin stays in cold storage and the bill gets paid, that's the system working. And that is exactly what it's there for. All right, let's get into the numbers for the week. The bridge is sitting at over $153,000. That makes me at the 51% mark of the $300,000 goal. That's actually worth pausing for a second because that's a milestone, guys. I'm past the halfway part. A year ago, I wasn't even thinking about this seriously. Now I'm more than halfway to the number, and that is not nothing. My Bitcoin is sitting at 1.06, and I've added 1,000,000 sats in the DCA this week. That's just automation doing the job. $50 a day, every day, doesn't matter if Bitcoin's up or down. I don't think about it, it just happens. Cash shield's sitting just above $10,000, and my 401k is sitting at about 25. IRA is sitting at just above 8, and the bridge has went up 2% since last week. The price movement is that's just the price movement doing it. That's not me selling, that's not me changing the plan, that's just price fluctuation. The stack just keep compounding. And those are two very different things. I only get to control one of those. That's the full picture, guys. Bridge progress moved about 2% this week. That's just price fluctuation. That's not me selling, that's not changing the plan. It's just going up and down from fluctuations. And honestly, there's nothing I can do about that. It'll go down sometimes, it's gonna go up sometimes. And sometimes I'll be up 2%, sometimes I'll be down 2%. It's not a big deal. We dipped into the mid-60s, and if you guys have been following along for any amount of time, you know how I feel about that. My instinct is to do something. Pause the DCA, wait for better prices, whatever. But I don't do that anymore. When Bitcoin dips and I'm buying more sats per dollar, why would I pause my DCA? The DCA doesn't care about the price, and neither do I anymore. I want to talk about the chop for a second because I think that's actually the most dangerous thing happening right now. More dangerous than a crash. And I know that sounds backwards, but Bitcoin isn't crashing. It's moving sideways. Mid-60s, mid-70s, no big deal. Really, the problem is there's no big headlines, no chaos, nothing exciting happening right now. And that's exactly the environment that got me in 2022. I quit buying not because I was scared and not because I thought it was going to go to zero, but I quit because I was bored. The price went sideways for months and I just stopped. I moved on. I found other things to think about. And the decision cost me roughly a full Bitcoin. A whole coin. Just gone because I couldn't stay disciplined through a boring market. So when I looked at the chart right now and I saw it chopping in the mid-60s, I'm not frustrated anymore. I'm not actually paying attention more than I actually would if it was pumping. Because in this environment, the chop is at what breaks people, not the crashes, the boredom. Crashes are dramatic and they get all the attention. People talk about them, but actually sideways markets quietly drain your conviction until one day you realize you stopped buying 3 months ago and you don't remember why. The DCA is automatic for a reason. I don't have to remember to buy. I don't have to feel motivated. It just happens. $50 a day, every day, boring market or not. That's the whole point. Here's where the runway math sits right now. Cash, checking, truck, sitting about 42,500 in total exit liquidity. At $1,200 a month in the Philippines, that's 35 months of runway, guys. 3 years. I don't have to touch the portfolio at all. And that's just the floor. That's not with my severance. If I get a severance package, we're talking $15,000, $25,000, depending on the buyout. That pushes that runway out 50, 55 months. And if you want to do the math, that's 5 years. 5 years to build my YouTube channel, find a freelance gig, whatever it takes, while my Bitcoin stack stays in my cold storage, compounding in the background. The portfolio sitting about $152,000 never gets touched. That's not runway, that's the long game. And so actually, worst case scenario, if everything goes sideways, is I move to the Philippines for 3 years minimum. And the $152,000 just grows. That's the floor. Most people would call that a plan. So where does that leave us? Cash Shield did this job this month. Rent got paid, Bitcoin got bought. Nothing in the portfolio moved. That's a win. Stack is still sitting at that 1 Bitcoin or 1.06 Bitcoin and growing. Bridge is past 50%. The runway is at least 35 months without touching anything. The plan is intact. That's the system working. I'm not doing anything different next week than this week. And that's kind of the whole point. See you on the next one, guys.